The springs on the trampoline suddenly detached and shot into the woman, pinning her firmly to a wooden door. Just moments earlier, the influencer mother had been live streaming a pinning her tail to a donkey challenge, but her son found it childish and turned to play on the trampoline instead. Unexpectedly, due to the trampoline's age, the rust-covered springs unhooked and launched, pinning his mother to the door.
911, what's your emergency? My mom's pinning the donkey!
Firefighters arrived quickly and found the springs had pierced the wood, covered in rust, virtually tetanus weapons. They immediately checked her condition. Eddie asked the woman to move her fingers, and she managed to do so with difficulty, indicating no tendon damage, just a small penetrating wound. The paramedic confirmed a miracle. Her vital signs were stable, the springs had missed her spine by millimeters, and both lungs had clear breath sounds, meaning no lung injury. She only needed wound treatment before transport to the hospital. Firefighters picked up a saw, initially planning to carry her out with the door, but the door was too wide for the ambulance. The captain improvised. The woman was placed on the fire truck's roof and transported that way.
Easy, guys. Easy. Watch the springs.
Good work.
Sorry, I treated you like a little kid.
Look, you're trending! You're gonna be internet famous!
The owner of a bowling alley went to fix a lane. Her nephew at the front desk was so engrossed in playing with his phone that he casually started the machine. The woman's arm was instantly bent at a 90-degree angle, and a large amount of blood stained the bowling pins red. However, her desperate cries for help were drowned out by the noisy environment, until the customer picked up the second ball, staring at the blood on her fingers, finally attracting everyone's attention. Soon, firefighters arrived, but the nephew still clung to his phone in confusion. An employee rushed forward to guide them. While the woman screamed in pain, the firefighters quickly approached to assess the situation, and upon examination, they found the woman's arm had a compound fracture accompanied by severe trauma. Meanwhile, this employee brought a manual control device, guiding the firefighters to manually move the machine. However, another firefighter loudly stopped them, as the woman's arm was already completely broken, and the machine was the only thing preventing massive bleeding. Moving the machine hastily would lead to uncontrollable bleeding. Immediate action was needed to transport the woman to the hospital. At that moment, a firefighter came up with an idea. If they cut the machine entirely and turned it into a makeshift stretcher, they could transport the woman directly to the hospital. The captain immediately adopted his suggestion. After a round of cutting, the woman's arm with the machine attached was completely removed and quickly rushed to the hospital. The small car suddenly exploded. A truck carrying 22 million killer bees lost control. Millions of killer bees started swarming toward them. The helpless driver became the first victim. They quickly called emergency services, and for now it seemed safe inside the car. When the firefighters arrived, they saw a massive swarm of bees circling the area, making it impossible to approach. Their equipment wasn't very effective, and within minutes it broke down. The water pump got clogged and couldn't spray any water. They immediately called for backup, but due to heavy traffic, it would take at least 20 minutes for help to arrive. Meanwhile, there was trouble inside the car. The dispatcher warned them not to attack or provoke the killer bees. At the same time, over in the fire truck, a man was being rescued. The firefighter checked the man's mouth. After using equipment to suck out all the bees, the man was out of danger. Meanwhile, inside the car, a killer bee landed on a girl's face. In this situation, not even a full-grown adult could stay calm, let alone an 8-year-old girl.
Go away, stupid bee! Rayla, no!
Because of her severe allergy, she was already struggling to breathe within seconds. Luckily, her mom had an epinephrine pen in the car. With a quick shot, the girl immediately showed signs of recovery. However, the bad news was that the mother was also allergic to bees. Fortunately, the dispatcher guided the girl to use the leftover medicine in the syringe to save her mother. At that moment, the rescue team outside realized that thick smoke could repel the bees. They started using smoke to drive away the swarm and rescued everyone inside the car. Just when they thought it was all over, the truck suddenly exploded, releasing even more killer bees.
It's a bee native.
A girl jumped into a pool to escape the swarming tens of thousands of killer bees, but each time she came up for air, she got stung. Earlier, a truck had overturned on the highway, releasing 22 million killer bees into the air. At a nearby perfume company's event setup, no one noticed that the tents were already crawling with the bees. The next day, a girl sprayed on the new perfume. Seconds later,
Oh my
Hovering, and then every time she comes up for air, they sting her.
At the emergency center, the operator guided the girl to swim towards the shallow end and use the pool's water pipe to breathe, but the bees followed her through the pipe. To save the girl, one firefighter sprayed himself all over with perfume to attract the killer bees.
Okay, but why does it have to be me?
You're the fastest runner.
You smell wonderful, by the way.
The plan worked. Every single bee was drawn to the firefighter, who led them into a preset tent trap. Meanwhile, the others quickly dove into the pool to rescue her. The poor girl had already been stung all over, her body covered in thousands of stingers that were releasing venom every second. She could die from exhaustion at any moment, but there were just too many stingers. The firefighter had a sudden idea. Why not use tape? Sure enough, with just a light pull, dozens or even hundreds of stingers were stuck to the tape and removed. The girl finally stabilized. Animal control officers also arrived at the scene, taking care of all the killer bees. They thought they had completely defeated the bees, but it turned out they had only dealt with about 200,000. That meant there were still 20 million killer bees on the loose. A small plane flew straight into a tornado of killer bees, which quickly swarmed into the cockpit, causing the plane to lose control. A commercial airliner was headed directly toward it. The unfortunate pilot was sucked out in an instant. A police officer, who happened to be on the flight, rushed to the cockpit. With her help, the co-pilot, barely conscious, managed to activate autopilot. The officer and a boy who loved playing Boeing flight simulators took over under guidance from the control tower. On the ground, firefighters cleared a stretch of highway to prepare for an emergency landing.